5 acres east of Springfield, Missouri. This has the really interesting concrete dome on it that we had discovered. We didn't even know about it. And then when we were going out to get pictures and videos of the property, that's when we discovered it. So you'll see this if it's available on InstantAcres.com. That's our website. We sell owner-financed land, mostly in the Ozarks of southern Missouri and northern Arkansas. So you'll see this in the homesteader-friendly section in a little development called Cedar Gap Hollow, which, as I mentioned, is by Springfield. It's about 30 miles east of Springfield, Missouri, just north of Highway 60. So this is on Tract 65, and this is a photo here of the, we call it the concrete dome, or the dome house. It's really pretty cool. You can look at the listing page to see the whole thing and see all kinds of different videos and maps and whatnot. But when we first saw it, none of us had really ever even seen anything like it. And then as we started to research it a little more, we discovered that it's something they've been doing for hundreds or thousands of years in different areas around the world. And so we found some really, really cool structures of people who had done similar type structures, oftentimes people who had obviously had a lot of experience doing them. And so as we were trying to come up with different uses for this, we thought it might be interesting as well to quickly show a few of the pictures that we found on the internet. So why don't we pull this up here? Okay, that's one of them right there. So this is kind of a basic concrete dome structure. This one appears to have 2 rooms, but it looks similar to the one that we have. It looks kind of handmade, basically. The lines are very apparent, but they're not super clean lines, and that's almost by design. I mean, that's the style that these people were going for, I'm sure, when they did this. So really neat that they have a similar structure with an additional room. So that's potentially something that could be added on to the dome on this tract right here. Now this one's a little different style. This just shows you some of the possibilities on this next one. There we go. So that's the color is about the same as the one we have, but after that the similarities kind of get limited, because this was obviously done by either a professional crew who has done hundreds of these, or someone who just really took their time and followed some plans precisely. You've got nice clean lines. They had some kind of construction technique that would enable them to get the clean lines around the windows and doors, and to get those curves just right. But what a gorgeous place. Now here's a couple interior shots of different dome structures that we found online. That's a kitchen, and that is just gorgeous. I mean, someone obviously put a ton of time into that, but that's an example of what can be done on the inside of a dome structure. That would be a larger structure, I'm sure. And that is a kitchen in a different dome that we found, but this one we thought was interesting because it just shows the creativity that some people had. If you look at the shelving here, it's curved wood, and it's hard to say if that was one fantastic piece of wood that they were able to curve the right way, or if they've joined up several pieces and they just really have some skill, so they were able to make it look like one. But that's pretty darn neat. And then this last interior photo that we'll share here, we like this one because it's very simple. It's a bedroom. Unlike the last one that showed all the different crazy creative stuff in the kitchen, this just has a window, some very limited shelving. I guess that might be some type of sink basin right there. And then the floors, they've just done a concrete treatment on the floors. Forget what that's called, a salt treatment or something to give them that look. But they kept it super simple in this one, and it's beautiful as well. So as I mentioned earlier, these are definitely not the dome on the property, but they do give you an idea of some really cool stuff that people have done. Now this is back to the listing page for the property, and here's the concrete dome. Another picture of it there. And obviously InstantAcres.com is where you can go to see this full listing page, and you want to do that because we have a ton of information and videos. We really don't know the history of the structure because no one told us about it, but we do have some good videos and drone videos that show it. The property itself, even, forget about the structure completely. The property is gorgeous. It's in a great location. Our owner financing terms are the best in the world, as far as we know, and we've checked. We've been checking for years. we've got the best owner financing. Property is surveyed. It's, I believe, 5.3 acres, maybe just a hair over that. It's we already mentioned it's east of Springfield, Missouri, which is a fantastic area of the Ozarks. And just before we go here, this is a kind of almost a wintertime aerial. That's why the leaves are coming off the trees, but it shows the basic setup. It shows the property. Whoever did the dome structure also created the driveway and site, and they were all about privacy, which is why we had no idea the dome was even there. And we've driven these roads dozens, if not hundreds of times throughout the last several years, and we did not know the dome was there, because even in the wintertime with all the leaves off the trees, you just can't see in that far into this heavily wooded property. So they've got the driveway coming in. They kind of focused on creating a building site roughly here. There's the dome structure. This says solar setup number 1 and 2. Those are not active solar setups. That's where they had solar setups. So if you go out there, you might see some of the parts and whatnot remaining from that, because they did have this running off of solar. This says fenced yard area, and it was fenced at one point. Now we're just kind of showing where that fence was. And all this stuff becomes a lot more apparent when you read the listing page at InstantAcres.com. But before we wrap it up, one of the neatest things we did in regards to this was we just sat around the office and said, what could this be? Obviously, it could be, a simple storage building. That's fine, but what other uses could this have? And so, just a very short list, an incomplete list of what we came up with was, of course, a hunting cabin. We sell a lot of hunting land, so that's always front of mind, is people like to have a nice place where they can go and stay for the weekend. Personal yoga studio, very stylish. A man cave or a she shed could be ideal for that. A writer's studio has that nice window that lets in some good light, and it's got the big door on the other side, so could be a good writer's studio. Secure storage, because it is 6 or 8 inch thick concrete. The only entry points would be the window and the door, and it really wouldn't take much to make those super, super secure if you wanted to. And then this was a really cool one, a walk-in meat smoker. So it does have the actual chimney that was integrated into the design, and so it really wouldn't take too much to turn this into just a super cool personal meat smoker that you could easily just access via the full-size door on the other side. So yeah, super cool. I mean, the whole point of this video is to keep it short and let a few people just see what this is all about. And then if you're interested, you can go to the listing page. Again, it's InstantAcres.com. You can go directly to this particular listing if you'd like. It's InstantAcres.com/CG65, as in Cedar Gap 65. This is tract 65 at Cedar Gap. So InstantAcres.com/CG65. If it's available, there'll be a link on there where you can buy it. Even if it's not available, it'll say sold. You'll see that right away, and you can still feel free to look at the listing page and see the videos of this super cool property. So let's leave it at that, but that's the super cool dome structure on tract 65 at Cedar Gap Hollow in the beautiful Missouri Ozarks, about 30 miles east of Springfield, which is easily one of the coolest towns in the nation. So InstantAcres.com, instant owner financing on everything we sell through our website. No credit checks. We make it so easy to buy good quality real estate, and we would love to hear from you. InstantAcres.com.